when that comes on your screen, just say yes, and it will not be recording you. And if by chance it recorded you, if you say something, it'll record your voice. I will not say last names. I might say something like, oh, well, that's an interesting question, Kendra or Dennis or Crystal, or, hey, Yukiko, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. So we have a new module today. This is Basics and Fundamentals on the 5th of December. This is a short module. We'll be doing cloud hands. Every time we do Basics and Fundamentals, we do it we do it around real movements from Tai Chi. And those movements oftentimes, and Tai Chi is a martial art, so if any of you are interested in martial arts, sometimes you'll hear me say, oh, and this is how you would use this kind of movement. But Tai Chi is also something that really helps us get used to our bodies and integrated with our bodies and aligning our bodies, much like yoga and other things that you might have done. So welcome, everybody. I want to begin by just warming us up a little bit. So I'm like this big now on this laptop. So I'm just gonna have to get used to the fact that I can't quite see myself. Hopefully you can. I am gonna also draw attention right now to this line right here, because the very first thing we're gonna do is think about our own line in our body. Where is your spine? Where is it pointing? And let's just see if we can align that spine a little bit. So the first thing I want you to do is feel your feet, believe it or not. Feel those feet. Feel those whole feet. And kind of relax those feet and just let your body get into your feet. Maybe take a deep breath and just let it out. And can you think about the very top, very top of your head, gently, 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 being like magnetism attracted to the clouds. Let that attraction go so that your spine just kind of naturally expands. You're not doing anything, but somehow just even a couple of the kinks that you usually have in that spine, they're disappearing. And maybe you got a quarter of an inch taller, or maybe a half of an inch taller. Check the back of your knees now. Oh my, did those knees just almost lock? How about we bend those knees just a tad? When you do, can you notice that your spine might relax a little more, especially that lower back area? Feel your feet. Hook yourself to the clouds. Feel your spine. Your weight is right between both feet. Feel those feet. We just don't spend time feeling those feet. And then I want you to feel a spreading across the back of your shoulders, across your back. Just your back is getting longer, and when it does, it turns your palms forward a little bit because your arms turn. Just play with that. And now I want those arms to float up. When they do, they extend. And then your elbows are going to droop. Just let them droop and push down with your hands. Lovely. You stay where you are. I'm going to turn. And we're going to expand across the back. Float those arms up. Droop those elbows, push down. Some of you might not want to come up all the way, depending on how your body's talking to you this morning. Do this one more time. I want you to imagine that there's also a lever at the back of your shoulders that's sort of pushing down and allowing your arms to float up. This should help you keep those shoulders down. If your arms don't come up all the way, this works too. And now when we come down, we're going to just let our knees bend. It could be a little, it could be a lot. That's up to you. And then we're just going to go up and down like waves. You would be surprised how much stronger and coordinated your body will get with just an activity like this. I am really excited to see these shoulders. With almost all of you, your shoulders are staying relaxed. And a lot of what we're going to have in this class is a lot of imagination. And sometimes thinking about, something as strange as they float up because something is pushing down at the sort of a lever at the back of your shoulders. This can be helpful. And this time now we're going to come up and in. It doesn't matter if this is big, keep those shoulders down, or if it's very small. What matters is that you coordinate your upper and lower body. Oh, this looks really great. How about breathing in and out at the same time? Have you started doing that naturally? You might. In. Out. In. Up. Out. Whatever feels good for you. If it feels good, keeping those shoulders pretty down to come up higher, do that. We're getting into our bodies. If it feels better to be smaller, be smaller. Experiment with that. How's our body feeling? Are we good? Safety is our number one, all right? Absolute number one. And we have a 70% rule. So if your body can go, if you think your body could go this far, like if you really had to, it could go this far, just go this far. 70%. 70%. Part of that's a martial arts thing, like I could go this far, right? I could go way far. But what if I go way far in martial arts and that's just as far as I can go? Just as far as I could go. And then someone goes, oh, let me push on this pinky. Like not good, right? You always keep something back. You always keep something back. And the same thing is true. You'll find that your 70% will just naturally get bigger and bigger. So what you could only do the first time when you come down and you only come down so far, or you can only take a step so big, well, next time you might be able to take a bigger step. And your body will know that. Your body will go, oh, I'm ready to do that. And it will just naturally expand at 70%. So that's a rule. I cannot tell you where your 70% is, but you can. So it's sort of a rule of the road for this class that we will do that. Let's just check in with the rest of our body. So again, here's your line. Check in with the rest of your body. How about a little bit of this? Chicken head. Now, check in with that body. Don't go further than you can. And then I want you to bring that chicken head in. And then I want you to just relax, but not have it go out. So one more time, out, in, and then relax. And then turn, turn, turn. For some of us of a certain age, and I am of definitely that certain age, doing that little thing first actually helps me get rid of some of the crunchies because I have a tendency to put my head a little more forward, and a lot of us do. And how about your shoulders? We've done a little bit with the shoulders, but how about just, could you imagine? I mean, again, 70%. Now, my body really moves my shoulders easily, but not all of our shoulders move this easily. Can you, hang on a second. There we go. Can you imagine the back of your shoulders like a hoodie just coming up over your hood? Or maybe you're a turtle. You know, just let it enjoy that. If it does not feel comfortable, don't go that far, right? 70%. Just check in with that. You can do these kinds of things anytime. We are not going to do them every time, right? And you can go, you can go different ways and back the other way, right? Shoulders move, neck moves. How about your hips? While we're doing this, I wanna, you could even hula hoop. Anybody have a hula hoop when they were a kid? Yeah. And are you feeling your feet? All right, looks good. And let's check in with our knees. Again, be gentle. Find out how your body is talking to you today. What are its limits today? What needs to be warmed up? And let's warm up our feet a little bit. So you can just, if you have balance issues, you can keep one of those feet on the ground pretty much at all times, if you'd like to. If you don't have balance issues, you can lift that foot up. Or you could do a little of, you could check out, well, where am I today? Where am I today with those balance issues, right? Some of us find it easier to do if we remember something we did as a kid. So, as a kid, you did this kind of thing, right? Step, touch, that kind of thing. You might have even done this. Remind yourself what your body can do. Because when we slow down, sometimes it's hard to believe our body can do it. So, shake it out. If that feels good to you, we're good. I want to do an activity now that is my favorite. Good morning, Carolyn. Nice to see you. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to encourage you to be very free in your space. In fact, I'm going to encourage you to not necessarily watch yourself or watch other people when you're doing this. So you may find that you want to, be doing it this way in your space, away from the screen, which would be just fine. If you want to watch the screen, it's fine. You do not need to watch me for this, right? This is an activity we're going to use a lot of imagination in this class because our bodies respond to what our mind's intention is. So if our mind is tense, our bodies get tense, things like that happen. If you want to pick something up, your arm goes out and picks something up, right? So if I get your mind engaged, your body is likely to respond. It knows more than you think it knows. And this is part of our exploring that and bringing that to your consciousness so you know what you have in your toolbox. That's a lot of what Basics and Fundamentals is all about. So this is called Furry Friends. I want you to imagine that I have now magically put a cloud about a foot to a foot and a half high, less than knee height for you, in your space. You can't see your feet anymore. You look down there, nope, not there. No point in even looking there at this point. Not only that, whatever is your favorite furry friend, small furry friend preferred, so they could be miniatures, like if it was horses, it'd be miniature horses or whatever. Furry friend. It could be unicorns. It could be, but furry, nice. These are these not pointy things, right? These could be gerbils, right? What's your furry friend? I don't know. Kittens, right? And it's a party. They're all here. I mean, they're all here. So whatever size your room is, you've got at least 50, maybe 100 in there. All right. So if I have 50 or 100 in here and they are friends, they love you, they're like hungry, they're like, I'm going to be around you until you notice that you need to feed me, then they're going to be underfoot. But now you can't see them because I just put a cloud in your space. So what I want you to do is I want you to be in your space, not pay attention to what I or anybody else is doing. And I want you to start moving in this space. I want you to like decide, oh, I've got to get over there. And you're gonna start to walk, but then you're gonna have to worry about the fact that there's apt to be a friend underfoot. So I want you to start moving in that space. Just start moving. You can let your arms do whatever your arms want to do. Now remember, you don't want to stomp on anybody. There's like 200 underfoot. Do you know where they are? You don't know where they are. So you're going to have to feel where they are as you move your feet. Take note of what happens with your body when you do that. How is your walking changing? How is your sense of the space changing? Oh, there's a furry friend right under your foot. Maybe pause a moment to caress it and encourage it to move. You're going to put a toe down or a heel down. Is somebody there already? Slow yourself down so you don't stomp on anybody. Oh, this is lovely, guys. Make sure your eyes are open. Some of us, when we're imagining, close our eyes. That would not be a good thing to do. Is it different when you decide to move forward? And some furry friends are underfoot? And what if you moved sideways or backwards? How is that different? Does that still feel comfortable for you? Do your feet move differently? What's hard? What's easy about this? Part of what we're doing is exploring what our body already knows, because our body is now slowing us down. Our brain and body are slowing us down. What if you were in a corridor that was very narrow and you needed to put your arms in front of you and then move to the side? And there's all these furry friends. And you're moving down that corridor to the side. And they've invited their friends. Oh my gosh, every time you put your foot down, there is a furry friend underneath. And now you've got to go the other direction. This is great, guys. Fabulous. What is that like? All right, I'm going to whoosh away the clouds. They're gone. The furry friends have gone with the clouds. I'd like to hear what that experience was like for you. Was there anything you recognized or realized, something that was hard, something that was easy? Please feel free to unmute yourself if you want. Was that just totally weird, or was that interesting? Anyone have any thoughts on that?
It was very interesting to me, actually, and I discovered I have a lot less comfort or balance or whatever backwards than I do forwards. I'm not as bad at forward, or I'm not as uncomfortable with forward as I am backward.
And you don't have eyes in the back of your head, Dennis, too?
I barely
I
have
will
eyes.
let my children think so.
Exactly. I think that sounds very normal that would be true. When you go to thinking about going backwards, you're suddenly aware of what you can't. Oftentimes, at least I'm aware of what I can't see. It actually forces a level of integration into my body. Like, do I know where I am in the room? Do I know what's in the room? So yeah, other people, anything else that you observed?
I noticed
April.
that when you have to slow down, assuming that you might stomp on something, your balance is really, my balance gets challenged.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say too, Christelle. When I go slow like that, my balance is challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other
So
comments?
Dee, am I the only one that cheated and didn't really take my feet off the floor? I just kind of scooted my chihuahua away.
You are not the only one who cheated, because there's always a confession by at least one person. So anybody else who thought, oh, the safest way to do this is just keep my foot kind of on the floor and be like a little bulldozer to keep those guys away. Very clever, Carol Ann. Usually there is somebody, at least one person, oftentimes several people who do that, because this is what makes sense. And if we have time, we will do this again another day on ice, or you can try it at home. It's actually a little different. And oftentimes people find that on ice too. But it's a very different feeling when you worry about slipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's one about balance and there's one about slipping, and they're both really good for you. So I want to say, if you never come back to this class, there are two things for you to do. Number one is secretly or not secretly. I mean, do you have grandchildren? Do you have children? Do you have anybody in your life who just likes to have fun? Because, like you could be 103 and have fun, right? I'm doing this because you guys are down here, so I'm talking right to you. Usually you're up here. But do it because it's fun, but do it also because it is one of the most challenging things that you can do to get your balance working, and it's safe, right? The other thing I want you to do, no matter what, and this is like homework, so please do this. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to have a sense of your head being suspended and your body hanging. Your body can be very heavy on the ground. I mean, heavy in a nice way, like grounded, rooted on the ground. But you can have a sense that your upper body can be light with your shoulders relaxed. And we're going to do a little more with this shortly. But the idea, a lot of us put our heads down. And if this week you could just come back next week And tell me what it was like when every time you, I don't know, made the coffee or made the tea or had some little bit of downtime, you walked around your apartment and you just made sure your head was suspended and your body was suspended from it. I'd like to know what that felt like. And if you, again, never come back, I'd like you to take that, your head rising up. I think you'll find it will rise your spirits. And this is a wonderful time to have our spirits rise and also be grounded. So keep those two things. And please take those with you for the rest of the week and maybe the rest of your life, because they're two really important lessons for today. Now I want to show you cloud hands. This is where we're going over the next 3 weeks. You do not have to do this right now, but if you would like to try, you can. I'm not going to necessarily explain it, but I'm going to give you an idea. So in cloud hands, we're going to be moving our hands like clouds. And again, it does not matter. It does not matter if you're doing it small, lower, or whether you're doing it high. Or do you notice how I could do this sitting down if I needed to? But I could also do it moving. In fact, I could take bigger steps, depending on what I wanted to do. This is cloud hands. And we can put a little thing at the front, we can put a little thing at the end, we can embroider on it, but this is cloud hands. This is cloud hands. And for those of you, I'm really impressed. A lot of you guys who I presume have not done it before are really moving your arms, and I'm going to show you how to move them shortly. But you're really kind of getting there, which is really exciting. I want to also, there's always a couple of people in the class who, whether they admit it or not, are interested in martial arts. So let me also tell you about that. So imagine, if you will, I'm going to get down here so I can see myself and you guys at the same time. Imagine, if you will, that somebody is striking right at me, right? Well, if they strike right at me and I turn and I catch them right here, and then grab them and pull them, right? This is very powerful. Oh, and it didn't work, and they come at me with the other hand. What's going to happen? Catch them right here, turn, pull them, right? And look, it's their friend, right? I mean, I could be Neo, right, from the Matrix. I could be like, you know, right? Because I'm well grounded, and I got my center, right? And I'm turning. That's why I have this here, so you guys can really see the turn, right? So we're going to get all of those pieces together in the next 2 times after this, okay? And give you a sense of it. And I'll be sending out an email to give you, but there is already a link, I think, that most of you have, but maybe not. If you got my initial invitation, you might or might not have the link. So I'll make sure I send it out to everybody. That shows Master Yang Jun actually doing cloud hands. So very important. Don't do anything that hurts. Figure out what your shoulders and your arms can do, right? And right now, I want to give you a sense of how we're going to move the arms. And we're not going to worry about moving the body too much. So let's first just bring into what I call a bag of apples. All right, and let's explore what each of our bodies can do. So imagine you have a bag of apples, a big bag of apples. It's heavy. It's heavy. You've got it, right? You've got it. you're holding that bag of apples. Feel grounded, hold that bag of apples. And then we did this thing earlier where we imagined that there was a lever coming out of the back of our shoulders, and that lever could pull you up a little and down a little, right? It goes down in the back of your shoulders and this comes up. And for some of us, we might come up this far. And for some of us, we might be more comfortable here. And for some of us here, find where your comfort zone is, because different bodies will do different things, right? If it works for you, I'd like you to cross, be kind of middle way, and I'd like you to just cross your arms, and I do not care right now which one's in front, so do not worry, right? Just cross those arms. You're not quite crossing at the wrist. I love how you guys can really see what I'm doing, and you're not crossing at like elbows, right? You're crossing at the arms, and there's a little room. Really hard to see this right now. It's like you have a little something right underneath your armpits. So let's do that again. Our arms are down. We're gonna bring those arms together, kind of making like a bag of apples. And our arms, the shoulder blades go down and the arms kind of lever up. Yeah, I love it. I love how the shoulders are staying down. Nice. And then we're just going to cross those arms, but we're not going to get really like this, right? We're going to be like this. Lovely. Let's just look at one arm. Queen's wave. Queen's wave. You know, Queen's wave. It's that whole, it's not your wrist. You see my hand down here? There you go. There you go. It's not your wrist. Put your hand here. Put this hand here and then turn it. Don't let your wrist turn. Pretend, there you go. Now, your wrist could turn a little bit because you're going to actually kind of push out, but we're going to be here and we're going to Queen's wave, turn this elbow, and then we're going to think about grabbing and pulling. Grabbing somebody's like arm. So we connected, they came at us and we connected and we grabbed them. If you were being a martial arts person. So here we go. That's the first part. And we can do it with this side. Okay, again, Queen's wave, a little bit of a pull. That's all the beginning is. Queen's wave, pull. Sometimes it's easier to just do it this way, right? Nice. And you can imagine almost your hands pushing out a little bit there, like you could hold something. Yeah, nice, very nice. There you go. But what you're really doing is you are right at the center of like you are Queen's waving and then you're sort of pulling out. Okay? Now, some of us may be like, oh, that was tiring. So let's go down and we'll do something a little more. So when you're relaxed, can you do this? Can you leave your elbows where they are and just let them drop? Lovely. Yep. I want you to learn that your elbows can pretty much, this shape across here, this like circle across here, this circle, I want it to kind of stay. So that's why your elbows are kind of staying. Anybody be able to do that? It's kind of interesting to explore what your body can do. Did you ever think about doing that, circling with just from below your elbows? Now let's take a finger and draw circles. So we can draw out. And now our palms are going to go back kind of as we draw this oval. And we're going to come back up and out and in Notice how my elbows are not moving, right? Elbows are not moving. So palms back, turn, palms forward, turn, palms back. It's so much easier to think of doing it with your finger. I don't know why, but it's just like this, right? Just like, da, 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 da. Now it's easier for me because I've learned how to do this. It's like amazing. Not everybody will have that. And rest those shoulders because this actually takes some strength up here and it may pull a little bit up here. So, you know, but give yourself a moment. Yeah. Give yourself a moment, just like feel comfy. All right. So here we are. And again, this could be low. I'm going to do it here, but it's not up here. It's here, right? It's here. It's kind of like read your notes, right? I'm going to read what's on my palm of my hand, right? Okay. So we're going to come up and turn out, pull. And then we're going to think about that finger just drawing down a wall or something, and then coming in and up and out. It's just circling. The whole hand is circling, but it's not your wrist. Oh, this is lovely, guys. And your elbow does not move. So your elbow doesn't do this, right? Your elbow just stays there and it just moves. We can do that with the other hand too. So queen's wave, pull. Think about that little, that index finger drawing down a wall, and then your hand comes back, up, out. Lovely. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we could do them together, right? We could go out, and then we could just leave those. Remember, those elbows just stay there, and we come down, and we come up, and out, and stay there. And then I know I'm starting to feel it, so I want you to like make sure you're okay, right, everybody? Now, here's the fun part. Start here, and I want this hand here, and I want this hand here, and just let this hand go. So we're gonna queen's wave, pull until they're both out, sort of, if I looked out, it's to the corner, right? If you looked over your fingers, it's kind of like to the corner. Now, I want you to let this one drop and this one paint on the wall. Oh no, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. This one's going to come up. The inside hand always comes up. Inside hand up. Outside hand drops down. You get like this, right? You're turning that queen's wave. And then over here. And then inside up, outside, draws an oval. They both come across. Inside up. To the side they meet. Inside up. To the side they meet. Inside up. To the side they meet. Inside up, queen's wave, pushing out. Inside up, queen's wave, pushing out. Next time, we're going to start turning. Questions? How's it going? I see thumbs up. Needs a lot more practice, doesn't it? So it's kind of like this, isn't it? Yeah. Remember, you probably were introduced to that when you were 5 or 6 years old, right? You were probably introduced to it then. And you're like, what, how could that possibly be? You know, that you could do two things at once, but maybe you've learned how to do this. Pat your head up and down and rub around. It's a lot like that, right? It's a lot like that. Yeah, I can see, you know you can do it. You know you can do it. All right, so any questions? I want to run through this stuff again, and I want to cool us down. These classes will tend to be 45 minutes to 50 minutes long. And we have lots of time for questions. So if you guys have any questions now, we'll do it. And I want to run through that just one more time. All right, let's not seeing any questions right away. So let's get comfortable and let's have our bag of apples. And let's just remember levering the back of the shoulders down, getting a feel for coming up and down, having yourself centered, looking straight ahead. And then we're gonna cross our arms. We're just gonna practice some of the things that we've done. Remember, there is space between, you're not like this, you're like this. And then it's that queen's waves, pull, and then our elbows stay. And our arms just kind of swing around them, right? This is an exercise. This is not cloud hands. But actually, this is a martial arts move as well. We could come the other direction too. We didn't do this exercise, a little trickier to do it this way. Okay, we won't practice that until another day. Now, what I want you to do is put one up and one down. And then inside one comes up, outside queen's wave to the side. Inside one comes up, queen's wave. Inside one comes up, queen's wave. Inside one up, queen's wave. Up, queen's wave. And we're going to come back to here and bring this arm down. And let's go up. Hook that head to the clouds. And we did this at the beginning. Come down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Doesn't matter how high you go. Doesn't matter how low you go. But can you make the top of your coming up equal to, with your hands equal to your body, so they're coordinated? Lovely. Can you relax into that? Again, it doesn't matter how high you go. Can you breathe in and out? And in and out. And in and out. And now we're going to drag our fingers through the sand. Grab some of that warm sand up. If you would like, rise up, squeeze, and relax. And drag our fingers through the warm sand with the sunlight coming in. Grab some of that sand, squeeze, relax. Inhale as we drag our fingers through the sand. Squeeze, hold, exhale. Drag our fingers through the sand. Feel the warmth. feel relaxed. One more time. Through the sand. Thank you all for joining me today. I will be here if you have questions, comments, whatever, for just a few minutes before I go to my seminar. And look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much. I
you.
loved it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wonderful,
that was
Janice. I'm glad
wonderful.
you came.
Yeah.
Thank you, Didi.
We'll have you all doing, oh, next time, a chair. You need a chair for next time, because we're gonna work
Okay.
on moving that torso.
Got it.
Okay.
Take care.
And no
Stay
chair.
safe.
All right.
Thanks.
Ian, see you
Bye,
next
everyone.
week.
Thank you.